Washington State just passed an income tax. And the way it happened should concern every single person living here, whether you're making $1 million a year or $50,000. I'm Connor Webb. I'm a mortgage loan originator based here in Ridgefield, Washington. I'm also a Washington resident and someone who helped people move across the river from Oregon specifically because of the tax advantages here. So this one hits close to home for me on multiple levels. Today, I'm gonna break down exactly what this tax is, where Washington now ranks compared to the rest of the country, the history that suggests this isn't going to stay limited to millionaires, and what I think this means for housing and for all of us living here. This isn't going to be a political rant. I'm just going to give you the facts and you can decide for yourself. But I'm also going to be honest about what I see coming because I think you deserve to know. On March 12, 2026, the Washington State Legislature passed Senate Bill 6346, what they're calling the millionaire's tax. And today, March 30th, Governor Bob Ferguson signed this bill into law. Here are the basics. If you're a household earning over $1 million a year, any income above that $1 million threshold will now be taxed at 9.9%. So if you make $2 million, $1 million of that gets taxed. That's $99,000 to the state. If you make less than $1 million, you don't pay this tax for now. The tax goes into effect January 1st, 2028. First payments would be due in 2029. According to the state's estimates, about 21,000 households will pay this tax, less than half of 1% of Washington's population. They're projecting it will generate about $3.4 to $3.7 billion annually. Governor Bob Ferguson, again today, just signed it, and it's essentially a done deal. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This bill includes something called an emergency clause. What that means is that opponents of the bill cannot put it on a referendum. Washington citizens will not get to vote on this tax. Let me say that again. Washington voters have rejected an income tax 10 times since 1934. Every single time it's been on the ballot, the people of this state have said no. This time, they made sure it wouldn't go to a vote. The bill declares itself necessary for the support of state government, which triggers the emergency clause and blocks the referendum process. Now, opponents can still try to get an initiative on the November 2026 ballot to repeal it. That's different from a referendum, but the bar is higher, it takes longer, and by the time that vote happens, if it happens, the tax will already be in law. Whether you support this tax or oppose it, the process matters. And the fact that they specifically structured this to avoid a public vote tells you something about how confident they were that the voters would reject it.